Hello friends, welcome to Dots of Destiny. Today we are going to talk about the mind. The mind is a very important factor in our life because in horoscopes also and in general life also you see the mind either makes us or breaks us. Now when the mind goes weak, because the controller of the mind is what? The moon. The moon is a very feminine planet and it is having the high and low tides, the waxing and waning moon. So this moon plays a very important part in our life in Jyotish, and we can see a lot of things about the person from the moon. How he or she behaves at certain situation, what kind of tenacity, discipline or laziness or goodness or badness, whatever, everything is in the mind. So how this mind works with us, how moon works with different conjunctions with different planets, that is also very important, because see, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, all these planets, because moon is a very soft and subtle and feminine planet. So all these planets have very great influence when it is conjunct with the moon, sitting with the moon. The moon also suffers from Kemdrum dosha, also Pap Kartari. All these things happen with the moon. It is all in the mind. So let us find out in the video that how moon behaves in certain situations given the planets when it is sitting together with moon, and in different signs also. Let's find out. They are feminine in nature. They are very soft planet. They are good planets. They are benefics. But the problem with the moon is that moon has a waxing and waning nature. Now see, moon has some phases, like from the starting point of a new moon or the Shukla Pratipada, it is a new moon, and though it is benefic in a horoscope, but its strength is missing. That is a problem because it is conjunct with the sun at that time. Now as the moon starts waxing and come towards the Amavasya, so those 15 days, and actually after from Ekadasi, the moon starts to be in a very bright form. So that is the Shukla Ekadasi. I take it personally in that way, that from where the moon starts gaining its strength. So those few days till it comes for the Purnima, it is a very strong moon in the horoscope. Again, Krishna Paksha, again the first 7 days, though it is Krishna Paksha, but it is still bright. You have to, we have to understand this. And then slowly as it is waning towards Amavasya, so the first 5-7 days are really good, though it is Krishna Paksha, but it is a strong moon. Then it is waxing, waning slowly towards the Amavasya. So here the moon always, wherever it is sitting, it gives a feeling of waxing and waning characteristics to that house. Suppose it is sitting on the ascendant will feel like that, sometimes good, sometimes not very good, something like that. In the money houses, it can give a little up-down fluctuations. It can happen because of the moon, and the nature of the moon is that in every month it has a waxing phase and a waning phase. So that is how the moon is seen. Moon is not only the mind, it is the childhood. The good moon gives a good childhood. Anybody who has can look back and say that yes, I had a very beautiful childhood, must have a good moon in their horoscope. Because see, if the moon is a person born with moon in Gandanta, you know the Gandanta zones are like Revati, Ashwini, then Aslesha, Magha, and then Jeshta and Mula. These areas, these nakshatras towards 29 degrees or 0 degrees of these nakshatras when a person is born, that is from Revati 29 to 1st degree of Ashwini, from 29 Aslesha to 1st degree of Magha, from 29 Jeshta to 1st degree of Mula. This kind of moon usually gives some problems in the childhood, whether it is physical, most times it is physical also. Many child are born with some premature birth, some defects in their body, some things that are not in their control physically or mentally. So those people, those who are having such moon in such degrees, need to take special control over their mind. Because see, the mind, as I said, is can make and break a person. You may have everything good in the horoscope, but if the moon is not well situated, that's why the Chandra Lagna becomes so important. Why we see the Chandra Lagna, the ascendant shows all the things that is available to us. But if the moon is not well placed, not in dignity, we will not be able to utilize those things. That is a problem, because if the mind is broken, then we cannot see what is coming in the near things, and we do not have the gusto to go for those things. So the mind is so important. Anytime you see a statue or an idol of Lord Shiva, you will see a moon on his head, because he was the Adi Yogi, the person who had totally control over his mind in the deep state of meditation. So what I'm enforcing over here is that little bit of meditation is good. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, is good for making the moon even better and working better with your daily life. So that is one thing. Now, obviously, stating that the moon, if it is in conjunction with different planets, or if it is in a house in Pap Kartari with very bad planets, or even the box where moon is situated in your horoscope, if the other two boxes side of the moon has two very malefic planets like Saturn, Mars, Ketu, Saturn, Rahu, all these things, then definitely that moon will have certain problems. The problem can be reflected through your mother also, because mother is the moon. Your mind, your nurturing, your childhood, your mother, your feeling of blessed, all these are controlled by the moon. See, there are many people who have everything in their life, but they still they don't feel blessed, because somehow the moon is not in dignity in the horoscope. That is how the moon is important to us. The feeling, what we have within us, that is the moon. If you have a fiery sign moon, like if your moon is in Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, then you are a pioneer of many things. You are dynamic. You are all good to go. You are more or less put together. Sometimes a little more edgy. You can feel that, yes, I can always get my way out, my way or the highway, something like that. That can happen with fire signs. But these people usually, if they fall down also, they get up again and they are good to go. So more or less it is a better placement, and they are more concentrated on themselves. The concentration is on me, because these are fiery signs. They want to do something with their life. The 1, 5 and 9 axis. These people, they are the holder of dharma. They are like warriors. They are warriors throughout their life. So many times I have seen that a person having a fiery moon placed in a fiery sign, they have gone through worst of things, but they just pick it up and brush it off and they're ready to go. So that kind of a moon is a fiery moon. Now comes the earthy moon. The earthy moon is the Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn. These are very practical moon. They just know, they're put together. I can put it in that way. These people, they love good things. Taurus people, they love to eat. They love all the good things. The family oriented. Virgo people, they are nurturing. They can care for people. They can handle situations with ease. Capricorn, they are hard working. They are grounded. As it says, earthy. They are very subtle people. They will be at your side, they'll be doing their thing, they'll be not boasting about it, and they are very put together kind of personalities. Usually the earthy moon people, they are like that, and that is how their life is. They do things slowly, but they do with a lot of practicality. They know where to go, what they are doing. They're not in a rush. They are very, very earthy type. Their foot is just solid on the ground. Such kind of people are the earthy moon. Now comes the airy moon, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. they are fascinating people. With a airy moon, if you see a person, they're full of ideas, they're full of life, they cannot stay at one place. They are literally airy. You know, airy means they are slow, flexible, they are full of ideas, they are handful of ideas people. They want to do this, do that and everything. They have so fertile brain. The moon comes up with so many things. They can juggle with so many things, but very difficult to get a grasp of this kind of people. The Gemini moon, they are so you know, magical with their hands, with their craft and everything. The Libra moon, though they want to strike a relationship, they want to put a balance of life, but they are trying to maintain that balance all throughout their life. Aquarians people also, they are like the 11th house people. They have huge networks, they are giving, they are philanthropic, donation, they want to mix and mingle, one time here, one time there. They're so dynamic people. I can put it in that way. They are very creative, very dynamic, but they are a little bit swaying. They are like the wind, they are swaying. That is the only little bit issue with them, but they are really talented people. Next come the watery sign moon. The watery sign moon holds its own house, Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. These people are too much emotional in their thoughts, in their structured life, in their own ways, and they try to put a nurturing thing forward. They want to nurture things, they want relationships, they are dreamy, they want you know, all the goodness of life and with the romantic ideas and all these things. But the problem, the moon holds the house Cancer. The problem with such people is that too much emotion do not work too well. So the emotional quotient, if it's little bit trimmed down, then they can, if they have that, you know, intensity inside them. Especially Scorpio moon, I have seen, they are so intense from inside. Outer visibility can make them visible anything, but they are very you know, they are very optimistic. I mean, they are very ambitious internally. When the moon is such, especially if it is in Aslesha, it is in Anuradha, and in Revati moon is a very benevolent moon. So this emotional part of it, if it is put in a, you know, in a directed way, in a very different way, not just, you know, serving others, not just feeling for the romanticizing of the moon, in a different gusto, that to do something with the life, if they think that, then they will they really do good. With such a moon, they really do good. So this is the quality of the moon which I am talking about. This is the quality. So now let us see what moon does with conjunctions with other planets. The conjunction of moon with sun, first and foremost. That means the person is born in the Amavasya, Pratipada, these 2-3 days. So the moon is weak at that time. But the moon is the mind and the sun is what? The soul. The mind and soul, they come together. Now these people can have a very clear-cut idea because soul and the mind are quite aligned. But one problem I have seen is that the parents, because sun is the father, moon is the mother, can have some differences in them. It can have. The father may be dominating the whole scenario, because see, your mind is in control of the sun now, because the existence of the moon is just not there. That needs to be understood. So the sun is in full force on your mind. So some external figure, whether it's a father figure or father like somebody, you can feel a great influence of that person on your life, which is not bad. But the thing is that sometimes you're actually, whatever you are wanting may not be of your mind. It may be totally influenced by outside factor, or it may be that you want something but you're unable to express it through, and you're going by the, you know, by the other person's guidance or something like that. It can happen like that. So sometimes sinus, headaches, all these can happen. Some kind of problem with the mind getting too much heated up. feverish, painful headaches, migraine. These can be some symptoms of sun and moon put together. Here the moon is a little bit weak, because see, whenever the moon is not visible, it is totally clubbed with the sun, so the sun takes over the thing. So it is not a bad scenario, but maybe under somebody's guidance it is better. It's not that bad. It's I would call a more or less okay conjunction. Next comes the moon and the Mercury. Now Mercury is a very fast moving planet. The moon is also waxing and waning. Now these two planets, when put together, Mercury is the intellect and moon is the mind. The mind is always talking. The mind is always chattering. The mind finds very difficulty to be stable. There's a lot of problem bringing stability in the life of these people, because there is some chatter in the mind that is constantly going on. And if the Mercury is well placed, suppose in Virgo and Gemini in its own sign, then the intellect takes over. The mind is restless. The mind does not get peace in such a situation. There can be some nervousness, some edginess of that person. They want to do this immediately. Why this is not happening? Why I am unable to put it together? All these things, because Mercury is a very chatterful planet. It's very fast. It's very frivolous. It takes over the moon very easily. So this is a problem with moon Mercury. There can be fidgeting with the friends also. The mind can be longing for friends. The mind can be longing for business. That can also be there, because Mercury is a business oriented planet, and the mind can also play tricks with you. Actually, you are that kind of a person can be a tricky person, because see, it's all intellect driven. The mind is influenced by the intellect if Mercury is well placed. Actually, if this is in a watery placement, then the moon is more the mind, because Mercury in a watery sign becomes it is intuitive, more intuitive at that time. Moon Mercury in a watery sign, the intuition can be very high in that kind of a situation if moon is with Mercury in a watery sign. So the emotions can go haywire. It needs to be controlled. This kind of situation works well in earthy sign, and airy sign also it is okay. Fiery sign, too much to go, too much dynamic, too much wanted now. Immediately I have to do something and go for it. So fiery sign and watery sign moon Mercury can be a little too pushy and edgy emotionally, or too much physically. So otherwise earthy and airy, it is a little bit better, I feel so. Okay, now comes moon and Venus. Moon and Venus are highly romantic people. Whether moon is aspecting Venus or moon is with the Venus, they are always in the romantic mood. They are artists. They want to create something. They want arts, literature, culture, drawing, singing, dancing, any these kind of things. It's a good mind. It always wants to be positive. It always wants to feel the goodness. Only problem with this mind is that everything cannot be good. That's something we need to think for. This world is not every time good. There are a lot of things out of control. You have to deal with negativity. You just cannot run away from negativity. You have to accept. Many people I've seen moon Venus, they are unable to accept the negativity of a situation. They don't want to hear the negative things. They become so bogged down with that negativity. I don't think that is so much important to get so hurt by negativity. People can say a lot of things. How does it always matter for you? So that is the moon Venus combination. It wants all the goodness. That is why I see moon gets exalted in Taurus also, because it is a Venusian sign. Taurus has it's the second house. It's the house of comfort, family, ornaments, good voice, singing, good eating, eating sweets, all these things. So Venus in Taurus is a luxury oriented planet, and moon gets exalted over there. So now imagine these two combinations. It is all about goodness of the life. That is the thing. So extracting goodness from life is great, but life will always be not a bed of roses. That needs to be reminded in such kind of a conjunction. Now Moon and Mars, that is a little bit Mangalik, not little bit, more of a Mangalik kind of a combination. But it's okay. Mangalik, being Mangalik is not bad, unless it is if it is a fiery sign, too much gusto, too much dominance over others, too much good to go all the time, too much remaining physically fit all the time, which is good, but you cannot push people to the extent, or for yourself also. If you get too much rigid, because see, Mars is a very masculine planet, it gets very rigid with things because Mars is a warrior. You have to personify the planets as the characteristics. Moon is a queen and Mars is a warrior. Now these two, the queen may get a little threatened with the warrior beside her. It may feel good also, you are protected, but at times you may feel too much overwhelming. Because see, Mars wants to win a war. That is the problem with the Marsy Moon. And Moon conjunction with Mars, that is the main problem. Because every time a war cannot be won. That has to be remembered. Now once you stick to it that I have to win the war, and you get very rigid with it, there lies the problem. There, without even knowing that I'm getting to a point of rigidity where I'm hurting myself and the people around me, there lies the problem. Otherwise, it is a good combination for achieving something, because they are usually goal-oriented people. They love to reach the goal. They want to, if it is in good placement, if it is in good houses, then it can really, but it can hurt the mother also. There can be some tussle with the mother, or they can get too over-possessive about the mother. So these things can also happen. So little bit Chandra Mangal Yoga is a little, it is good also, but at times it gives different kind of shadiness to the person's nature. So that is also a thing. Moon is always, whenever Moon is situated with the malefics like Mars, Saturn, the mother gets a little bit of hurt somewhere from that condition in the child's horoscope. So, but otherwise it's good to go kind of a situation, Mars Moon. Now we come into Moon with Jupiter. Oh, this is Gajkesari Yoga, and if it is in a good house in Kendra or 159 and a good sign, then it is a good situation. It is good. But yes, you have to any time Gajkesari Yoga or Buddhaditya Yoga, they are quite, we can find these commonly in some people's horoscope, but they do not give the results so easily. You have to work towards that yoga also. So it is, Jupiter is a very good combination with Moon. After all, see, these kind of people, they have the knowledge. The Moon is sitting with the knowledgeable guru. It always gets the knowledge how to deal with situation, how to deal with life, how to go along with the daily affairs. They can have, if it is in the 10th house or Lagna or these kind of 5th house, then maybe they are so optimistic that they never had a bad day in their life. That kind of situation can also happen. So Gajkesari Yoga or Moon with Jupiter gives a lot of knowledge to the mind. The mind works with that knowledge and it understands the pros and cons, the pitfalls. And it is not rigid, it is wide, because Jupiter is the guru. It gives a good boost to the Moon, and Mother could be like a guru in this person's life. If the Moon is with Jupiter or it is Kendra to Jupiter, the mother could have been like a teacher to the person, and that profound influence of the mother may have had a lot of knowledge also, maybe not education wise, maybe knowledge about the life. So these people are really, I feel, if it is in Kendra or 5-9, then it is a really good combination. Or in the, even in the 2nd house also, money wise, it is good Gajkesari Yoga. So, and they are quite benevolent. Whenever I have spoken with such kind of people, they are very submissive, they have higher knowledge, they are good to, they sound very good, we can love to speak with them, they are understanding, they are mature, all these things come from this yoga. Now next comes Moon with Saturn, just opposite to Moon with Jupiter. Saturn, as I said, is a very huge planet, and it is a planet of limitations, hindrances, hard work, and also somewhere penance and lot of penance and austerity. And that is why Saturn brings a certain hassles to the mind. The mind feels limited. The mind feels gloomy. Just think of a queen sitting with a laborer. It's a labor. Saturn is a labor planet, a servant planet. Very humility. Lot of humility is required for, Saturn to be a good Saturn. Will have that kind of qualities. Now, Moon sitting with Saturn, what do the queen feel? It feels lost. It feels, I don't deserve anything. That is the main problem with Saturn Moon. This gives a very, sometimes, most of the time, see, I don't run into sweeping statements. It can happen. Even Swami Vivekananda had this combination, Saturn Moon, and the mother will go through a lot of hardships in her life, definitely. But that hardship, when one come across, they learn from and they go into higher consciousness. They become that Saturnic Moon, But the thing is that this gives some certain, I don't deserve anything good, that kind of a feeling. That comes to the person, and if you're having this combination, and especially in the fiery sign, this combination is very fidgeting, because you want to do something, that you're capable, and Saturn puts the hindrance, because fiery signs are not liked by Saturn. Earthy signs, still it's better, because Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, they have that that little bit energy of Saturn is there. Again, in a emotional watery sign, this is again a very depressing situation. The person feels they deserve nothing good is for them in the world. But the case is not that. You have to go beyond that. The guilt feelings that you have to go beyond that, and you have to cultivate good feelings. That is what Saturn is telling you. You are thinking there's a wall, you have to break the wall. Yeah, it takes a lot. It takes a lot, 100%, because Saturn is a huge planet and it will play out his karma. The mother goes through a lot of troubles maybe in her lifetime, or dealing with the child and all these things. So I will suggest Saturn Moon people can chant Om Namah Shivaya, and some kind of which enhances your consciousness, and your mind can be at peace. That is very important. Otherwise it feels very gloomy, diminished, restricted. That is Moon Saturn. Okay, then comes Moon Rahu. Moon Rahu is very lofty ideas, very high reaching ideas. Whether they are able to, sometimes it happens it goes too much overboard, because see, the Moon Rahu is a Maya planet. It creates all kinds of illusions, and it creates a veil in the front of your eye. So when the mind is clouded, just imagine you have a lot of lofty ideas, which is good, but the thing is that whether you are properly walking and working towards that ideas, that is what ultimately matters. You are saying something and your deeds are not appropriate to the way you are perceiving things. So the perception and the deeds, sometimes they fail to match with each other. Or if they match, suppose a Rahu Moon, if it matches, if it is in the 8th house, 12th house, that can create a lot of deceit also. So Rahu is a very ambitious planet. It creates a veil, it creates a Maya. So whenever the Moon is there, the mother can be also quite dominating, a little bit, forceful towards the child. That can also happen. But one must understand, when Rahu Moon is there, one have to be very cautious about their mental state of existence, because you can get influenced by wrong people also. Rahu can bring Rahu-ish people into your life, and you can get influenced by them, not realizing that there is a pitfall ahead. So there lies the problem with Rahu Moon. Rahu Moon, otherwise it can break boundaries. And because Rahu is breaking boundaries, in Hindi we call तो लांघने की क्षमता, किसी भी चीज को जो बॉर्डर है उसको लांघने की क्षमता. सो दैट इज राहु. breaking through the, the borders that has been created for you. That is good in that way. They think high, they want to be something different, that is good. But whether you're getting influenced by the right factors, you're doing your deeds right, you're not taking shortcuts, whether you are just thinking all up in your head, that needs to be analyzed with Rahu Moon. That's the first thing. And the person opposite to you, whoever is dealing with you, they understand all these things. And there lies the clash, because a Rahu Moon sometimes, they feel they are not appreciated much, and they are not being understood by people. Actually, it's not the case. Maybe people are trying to make you understand that you are having ideas, but let's work on them, let's take one step at a time. But they want to go. Maybe that can be the case. So that's why Rahu Moon is a little bit tricky. It can be good, but it can influence sometimes in a very wrong way also. Moon Ketu, this is a very strange and weird combination. Not very good for the 3D world that we live in, the regular world. It is a 4D, 5D combination. You are 1 foot in this world and 1 foot in the higher realm, because you are so intuitive, you can see things before they happen, you have a mysticism to you, you have a spiritual tendency. Mother can be spiritual or may have been detached from the mother due to some reasons. So all these things can make your life a little different from the people around you. You can feel that you are a mismatch, and then they try to pull inside and not get noticed. They want to be like that. So that is the Moon Ketu combination in the horoscope. Now Moon Ketu, one must understand, Ketu is a otherworldly planet. Anything which is magic, anything unexplained, cannot be detected. It is the mystical planet, we call the intuitive planet. If you tell a person, I can see this is going to happen, anybody will not believe you. How can you see that? How can you say that? But that is the intuition that you are having because of the Ketu that is conjunct to your moon. And any conjunction is like, whether it is within 10 degrees, then the conjunction is more appropriate. That is what I am talking about. So Ketu people get misunderstood, and what you need to do is that you should take time off from the world around you, because you need to introspect, you need to go within, and you must understand everybody will not understand you the way you do yourself, and whatever you understand yourself is correct. That is correct. Ketu people are actually non-show. They don't show. They are real people. They are very real in their approach towards life. So be real, be authentic, and whatever quality you have, deal with those qualities. It is a gift. And don't think that what the other world people will be, the people around you will be thinking. The nourishment from the childhood could be a little less. The mother can behave a little bit strange with you, because Moon Ketu is not a good combination. Whichever planet is sitting with Ketu sucks the energy of that planet. That is the problem. So Moon is a soft and supple planet, so it wants to get all the goodness. Ketu is a spiritual planet. It's a little hard. It is a little hard. So this combination is not an easy combination to deal with. Some deep meditative techniques, some deep yogic techniques should be taken into consideration dealing with such a combination in the horoscope. After Ketu, we come to Uranus. Now Uranus is a big ball of, it is, revolution. It is being different. That line we have in it's different. Some ketchup ad, no, we had that line, it's different. So Uranus is that kind of a planet. It is different. It is all big ideas. It is all different ideas. It is again a little bit like Rahu, a little bit. And Uranus holds, it is like believed to be the ruler of Aquarius. It has that Aquarian kind of energy. Rahu is also ruler of Aquarius. So Uranus Rahu has a similarity. Now when Uranus Moon is sitting together, these people have breakthrough in their life. Uranus is a very up-down planet also. Wherever it is sitting, it constantly puts an up-down to that place. And if it is sitting with the moon is, the mind is not very stable, because it is wanting something else. which it is not able to convey properly. Like, it is a very independent personality. It wants to get some breakthroughs in their life. Now, what is the breakthrough? What is the thing that they want to do? It can be perceived by the other people a little abnormal behavior, because if you get too much engaged with this person, they want a space of their own. They will not take anything bad from other people. They will not take that. They will not tolerate. Moon Uranus will always fight, because they will not tolerate unnecessary bad response from other people. It is a very revolutionary planet. Uranus, whenever it travels into a sign, it brings big revolution in that area. So Moon Uranus will have a rebel inside. Scientists are good. They make good scientists, researchers, all these things, because a breakthrough is needed with Uranus. So Uranus, Moon, though we try to neglect these outer planets, but they have a very profound influence. If you have a Uranus on your Lagna, on your Moon, then you will see that these things are happening with you. You will be different kind of a personality, not easily understood by people. You will be very revolutionary in your brain. You want to break the old and you want to get into new belief system. You want to break boundaries. You want to go ahead and do things. You want to be free. You don't want to get up caught with too many relationships around you. You don't tolerate people who give nasty behavior. So these are the traits of Uranus Moon. Now comes Neptune Moon. Neptune is like it is a gas kind of a planet. It is that kind of a planet. So Neptune, it is oil, gas, money, stock market, up downs, intensity. So Neptune deals with all these things, and Neptune Moon can be having all these characteristics. They have a lot of intensity. They have intuitive powers in them also. A lot of intensity, intuitive power. They can work with oil, gas, magic, all these things. Little bit, you know, Ketu kind of a that thing, the magic, the photography, the oil things, the economy things, the stock markets. This is Neptune. That kind of a planet is Neptune. It is a huge gas. It is that kind of a planet. So these people are intense people. They are intuitive people. They know what they are doing. Neptune can give fame also, sudden fames. It can bring you suddenly to the limelight. Neptune has that kind of capacity. If Neptune is on the Lagna, or Neptune is with the Moon especially, then you can be working with public and you can get sudden recognition. Maybe you are destined for some kind of a thing like that. So Neptune is a very intensified planet, that I can put it in that way, and it is a little bit Ketu-ish, little bit high intuitive power, all these. So that is Neptune. Now last comes Moon and Pluto. Pluto is like the ruler of Scorpio. It is the higher version of Mars or something. See, because Pluto is again like this is also a very planet which takes you to the other realm. Pluto Moon can be a person who understands what is going to happen. Or suppose if you have a Pluto Moon, you can understand. If you suppose you are in one country, your mother is in another country, you can understand, you are so attached to it. Or so Pluto will give you those vision things. There are a lot of bad things also denoted by Pluto, because it has the energy of Scorpio. It has the 8th house energy. So it can be, you know, destruction. It can be death and rebirth. So sometimes you can feel that you are dying from inside. Pluto Moon, if it is a tight conjunction, you can feel that you have been going through birth and death and birth process many times of your life. That can happen. Pluto is it is not easy to deal with that kind of an energy. It is very intense, very, very, very. they absorb the energy so much, these people with Pluto moon, that suppose somebody hurts you, that hurt is tripled and doubled, because that is the Scorpion energy. You hold on to that hurt, you do not let it go. That kind of intensity Pluto has. So Pluto moon is also difficult to deal with. So these outer planets, they have a very important influence in our life. Do check your horoscope, how these planets pan out for you, and hope I am able to put some of the points that I wanted to say regarding these conjunctions with moon, because many people had a lot of problem that how the moon works, how I am always, the mind is chattering with me, I have low feelings in my mind. So that's why I wanted to make this video, to convey some of the conjunctions that moon has and how it can affect our life. Hope it helped you in some way. Meet you in the next video. Thank you.